everyone, Thomas here and welcome back to another video. So today we're back here for another speed build, and today we're going to go ahead and build this family home only using base game and Nifty knitting stuff. So if you'd like to go ahead and download this for yourself, it is up on the gallery now. My origin ID is RealThomasTV1, and I know it has been a fair few weeks actually since my last video, so I hope you're all okay and you haven't forgotten about me. I know that my videos recently have been a little bit sort of more spread out, not doing as many videos per week as I usually do, and I found that that's just a better way for me to not sort of rush the videos that I put out, and I'm more happy with the things that I'm putting out, but I just have not really had the motivation to record this past few weeks, and you know, I wouldn't normally say that out loud. I normally just keep that to myself, but I think that it's just an okay thing to say because I don't want to have to force, you know, the video out or anything, so I've just been taking my time with it, just doing bits of the home where I feel like it, and here it is. So, like I said, there's only Nifty knitting stuff used today, so I know sometimes I go a little bit, you know, crazy with the packs in my builds, and every now and again I do like to do a base game build to sort of make up for that for people who don't have all of those packs that I use in my usual builds, and today I'm just using one, so I think that's quite good. So it came in at 234,765 simoleons, and it has 6 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms, and I built it on a 40 by 30 lot in Willow Creek. Now I think that price for the home, you know, is on the upper side. I would imagine it's not really a budget home. I mean, it could be for depending on what family you have, but you know, it is slightly on the pricier side. And this home kind of has a lot going on with it actually. I think that's a reason why. So not only does it have 6 bedrooms, but you know, there's a lot of other things within the home. So there's a pool, there's a hot tub, there's actually a greenhouse as well, some other landscaping sort of garden items as well, and also just a range of different outdoor activities, which I think kind of bumped up the price a little bit, especially the pool because it was really expensive, and lots of nice luscious landscaping as well. So as well with the inside, this is a little bit different to my normal homes, as I did actually make this slightly more personalised than usual. Now, I thought Nifty Knitting kind of brings in a lot more things that you do with the storyline, and I know that with the pack it was really great with not sort of stereotyping knitting to just be for elderly people, and in my tiny home build that I did, which was my other build with this stuff pack, I didn't go along with that storyline, and I kept it fairly open to different types of Sims who may like knitting and live in that tiny home. But this particular home does have a grandma living with them, and she has her own knitting room. Now, I know that's kind of going along with a stereotype, but it kind of fits in really well with the storyline that I had for this family. Now, saying I do have a storyline, I did want to keep it fairly open at the same time, because as you know, I do like to do fairly neutral homes. They're kind of clean, and you can download them and then go ahead and personalise it to the family that you have. But today I kind of did a mix of both. So the downstairs area is sort of fairly neutral, there isn't sort of anything that makes it more particular for one type of family or another. But then when you go upstairs, that's where all the personalisation is, you know, more colourful bedrooms and things like that. So that's what I did. Now, saying, you know, the downstairs is neutral, it still does have some aspects of the personality kind of flowing through a little bit. So I did use a lot of plants in this build. I kind of got the idea from building this home. I wanted to have some sort of like wraparound porch. I didn't do it completely, it just wrap around a little bit, but not like a full wraparound porch. Still good enough though for what I had in mind. And I imagined having lots of hanging plants along there. And that's kind of where the storyline started. I imagined a family living here that has, you know, 1 or 2 Sims from it who really love gardening as well. So that's kind of where the greenhouse came into it. And then kind of having that alongside all these new hanging plants that were got with the pack, I really wanted to make sure I got good use out of those, and I actually thought that they fit really nicely into the interior as well. So I did use a lot of hanging plants within the interior, and it kind of gives it a bohemian theme as well actually. It works really well on the exterior and the interior, but it adds a lot to the interior style as well, so you see that as we go on. And yeah, so I think Nifty Knitting was a really great pack to use today. I think knitting is a very specific theme, and I wasn't too sure that I would be using it in too many other builds in the future after I'd done, you know, the pack came out and I did my videos for it. I didn't think it'd be one of those packs that I'd use quite a lot, but I have been using it in today's build, and I actually thought that it works really well, and I could actually see myself using this pack a few more times in the future, especially for the decoration items. So the sofas and the armchairs, as well as the rocking chairs as well. That was another thing that I really wanted to include today. Not only is it like a big gameplay side of this pack, but I do really think that it fits really well into this family that's sort of like multi-generational. Having the grandparents live within here, or the grandma, I thought a rocking chair would be really great. And I actually made a nursery as well, and I put a rocking chair in there. It's kind of a shame that babies are objects and we can't really, pick them up and take them away from the crib, but I sort of wanted to go with that storyline where the sim takes the baby from the crib and kind of rocks it in the rocking chair. So I did go ahead and make a little room up for that as well. And as you can see here, I'm trying to make use of these objects as much as I can, the hanging plants. I think they're really great. The only problem is that they are sort of like a hidden object, not a debug item, but they are hidden, which makes it sort of difficult to use because you can't use the eyedropper tool on them. You have to go into the catalogue each time to get one out, which is really frustrating. And I know we've seen this a lot with the last couple of packs where they're doing this with these items. In a way, I sort of like, of course, see why they do that and what sort of reasoning there is behind that, and it makes sense. But I think as well, for like a builder's perspective, it does make it a lot more difficult to do builds when you have all these really nice hidden objects that you want to use, but you just don't use them. Like, for example, eco lifestyle. Eco lifestyle. I keep saying eco living by mistake, but I actually got it right then, for once. So in that pack, there's a lot of nice hidden items within, furniture items which are hidden, which is a bit frustrating because I think in the first build I did for it, I didn't even turn that menu on, so I didn't use any of those items. So I think it just make it a little bit more frustrating for that. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of Sims players as well who aren't really actually familiar with all the cheats, so they may just presume that that pack doesn't have a lot of items in it. So it's a kind of a shame that, the items are like that and there's no way to change it, but, I understand why they do it. But anyway, let's not dwell on that too much. So now that Nifty Knitting has been out for a little while, let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are on it now it's been out for a while. Have you been playing it since launch, and sort of how have your opinions changed as the pack went on? Because I was saying, earlier that it doesn't really fit my building style or my play style really. I didn't really think I was going to use the pack that much, but today, using it in a different way, with just base game in this pack only, it sort of really highlighted the items actually. It wasn't drowned out by all the other packs I use in my builds. I've really got to focus on this pack and see how it can be used in a big family home, and I think it works really well. So like I said, I did make a knitting room which is attached to the grandma's room, so it's like an archway that goes through, so you'll see that a little bit later on. So I really wanted to put a knitting room in. I think in my tiny home build I kind of just sort of had the items out generally, but I wanted to make like a specific room for it. And there's lots of other activities in this house as well. Like I said before, there's gardening things to do outside, there's also the pool and the hot tub. There's also a study as well, which is sort of adjacent to the kitchen. And also as well, I did go ahead and put a gym area in. As you know, if I have a garage in a home, I do usually change that into a gym. I think it's a good use of the items. So like a good space for it as well. So that's what I did there. And yeah, so we did get another leak recently, as you may have seen, for the pack icon for the next game pack coming for The Sims 4. As you may have seen a little while ago before we got Eco Lifestyle, we were told that over the next 6 months there's going to be the expansion, which was Eco Lifestyle, and then the stuff pack, which is Nifty Knitting, and then before that 6-month timeline is up, we've got another game pack as well. So lots of new content coming to the game, and I know a lot of people are sort of being confused by what the actual icon is. Myself, I'm not actually too sure as well. I've sort of had a lot of different ideas sort of flown through, and it kind of matches as well with a lot of other people are saying. The only thing that I sort of didn't think it was though, was something to do with like a snowy world, which I think a lot of people had been wanting. I know my friend Yorkie would talk about this all the time, having like a winter world, which has got loads of snow in it instead of, the themes of the other worlds that we've had before. So, I think from the icon, I didn't really get the impression of that, but I don't really think the icon was that clear anyway, so maybe we'll get a nice surprise with that. I also haven't read too much into it as well, so maybe you know a lot more about it than I do. So if you have any more thoughts, sound off about that, the new game pack and the icon in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are about that and what you may think this new pack will be about. I'm also hoping that the audio isn't too bad. I know there was some background noise before. I've shut my window. It is quite hot today, so it's going to make this voiceover struggle, but regardless of that, I just hope in general that the quality is okay, because you may have heard me say in the last couple of videos that I've actually took my pop filter off my microphone. It was sort of getting in the way, and it wasn't really a very good quality one, so it just kept sort of flimsing around, and it wasn't really working very well with this microphone. So I've actually took it off, and I'm just using the microphone itself. For anybody wondering, because I do get questions every now and again, it is actually Blue Yeti microphone. I've had this probably close to like, say like 6 or 7 years, maybe even slightly more, and it's never failed me actually at all. So I have took the pop filter off because I used to have a lot of problems with that actually. But the good thing is that it makes my desk look a lot more cleaner without that big pop filter coming out on an arm from it. But I also hope that, you know, it isn't affecting the sound quality, so let me know what your thoughts are on that. I have done a few tests here and there and everything seems to be good. But my microphone as well, literally just a few seconds before I did this voiceover, the whole thing came crashing down from my desk because I actually have it attached to the shelf above my desk. You may have seen it before because I have done a desk tour before. I think probably like 2 or 3 years ago now, and it is sort of attached to my shelf above my desk, and then I can kind of just push it out the way, and it's not sort of in my way of my computer or anything while I'm not using it. But I came to put it down just before there, doing this voiceover, and the whole thing came crashing off my desk. So at least my microphone didn't break, because that has actually happened before. And luckily, this microphone must be very good quality, because it hasn't done any damage to it. But yeah, so right now we're just working on the grandma's sort of section of the house. It's sort of like her own quarters, really. She's got her own ensuite bathroom, a nice sort of formal bedroom. It's very nice and luxurious, and then she's got her archway going through into the knitting room here, and I thought I would sort of, you know, I think this is sort of like a main aspect of the house. I think it has a lot of sort of personality from that room on its own, and I wanted that to flow through the house a little bit as well. So, you know, how the Sims in this house are like gardening, how there's plants all over the house, and also within the knitting as well. So I did put a lot of the sort of debug knitted teddy bears and yarning toys as well throughout the home, like in the kids' rooms and in the nursery, imagining that the grandma does a lot of that for the kids. So I thought that'd be a nice touch to add a little more personality into the room. And then this room right here, I would probably say is a teen girls room. As you know, I did want to put some personality into this room, but I don't like to make things too set in stone. I do that if I have Sims that I've actually made, but I don't always do that too often. So I like to keep things, you know, fairly open, so you can sort of manipulate things a little bit to fit what family you have for this house in mind. But I do really love that room. I did just use a lot of purple in the build, especially when Seasons came out, because there's a lot of nice items from Seasons that have a purple colour swatch, but I don't use it too often now, so it's nice to go back to that. And then we've also got the nursery here. As you can see, I'm just finding a bunch of these knitted toys from the debug menu there to put on some shelves around this room, and it was actually nice using a lot more clutter today. This house, as you probably would have saw, is a lot more cluttered than my usual builds, so it's nice to kind of just do a little bit of a change, because I know the exterior of the home is sort of like a classic Thomas TV type of build, so I wanted to try and switch it up where I could, so it's not exactly the same. And also, like I was saying, you know, about clutter and stuff, even within like the more formal rooms, like the master bedroom, you would have saw how sort of eccentric that room is, because there's a lot of plants and a lot of clutter going on in a very sort of what you may think would be a formal room. So it's kind of like aspects of the personality of this home sort of flows throughout all of it, which I really love. And now we're just working on a twin boys room here. Again, in terms of ages, that's sort of up to you, but I just thought it'd be nice to make a twin room for a change, as I don't do those too often. And then we're going to head on to the screenshots. So I really hope you enjoyed. In the comment section down below, let me know about what you thought of it. You can go ahead and download this build from the gallery. My origin ID is RealThomasTV1, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!